How is it going then, everybody? I hope you're all doing very well. Welcome back to another video here on our channel. Today we have another FIFA 20 coaching session. We are taking a look at Rulman, who is a Gold 2 player consistently in Weekend League. He's looking at trying to improve and push forward into that elite bracket. So he just wants to know what he's doing right, what he's doing wrong, and what areas we can look at improving on. We are taking a look at the 4-4-2 today. We're going to be mainly taking a look at how he can attack a little bit better, as he feels that his attack has been a little bit stale recently. So we're going to dive into that, run through the custom tactics at the end and give some advice on that front as well. If you guys do enjoy the video, please do let me know by smashing that like button. Drop your thoughts down below in the comment section. I have had a lot of requests on how you guys can have your games analysed and have some coaching from myself. So if you are interested, head on over to my Twitter. DMs are open. You're more than welcome to drop me a direct message. If you do also want to subscribe to the channel, that'd be massively appreciated. We do stream every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday if you want to pop over there and ask any questions. But we're going to go and jump into it. We will be getting rid of the webcam while we analyse, just so you can see the whole pitch and all that sort of thing. But yeah, let's go and jump into it, and I hope you guys enjoy. Okay, so the first one thing that we're going to be taking a look at is going to be on the defensive duties. I'm just going to show you this, how it pans out, just so you can see it in full time. And then, fortunately enough, keeper manages to make a save and we leave it from there. But what did we actually do wrong in that sort of build-up? So if I just slow it down right away, you can just see there we pull our centre-back out of position quite drastically. And we have literally never got control of any of the players in that particular case. So watch it again. We switch to centre-back. We dive forward. We switch, we switch, we switch. There's 3 switches there, 4 switches in the end. And we get very lucky, to be honest. The keeper bails us out. So what do we actually do that was the main sort of mess up? It's this here, right? So you're currently with, I think that's Lingley, sorry. Keep getting his name wrong. What you want to do is, what you're seeing is you want to be trying to cover off this Zola, which is what you try and do. But the problem is that Zola's already played this ball. It's already making its way over. And then you dive straight at Zola. So I don't know if this game was either a little bit delayed or if this was just too aggressive. We probably will say it was too aggressive. And you just dive at him. What it then means is that this little space here is perfect for Zola to run into. In this situation, instead of trying to run at Zola because it was too late, all you need to be doing is tracking the Zola run. Zola's going to do a 1-2 there. So all you need to do with your centre-back is L2 back in this direction. Because then if he does play that pass, you're going to make yourself bigger by holding L2 and shield off that ball. You cannot be as aggressive as you were. You can just see you've stepped up. He then has all that space to catch up on. And then boom, gets it from there. What did we do in terms of switching? So we'd already made the mistake, which, okay, that is what it is. What can we do now to rectify this? What you really needed to be doing is you need to be switching with the right stick and just flicking down, because then that will change to your centre back here, and you need to try and make the space up. We change with L1, I believe, and then I don't know what that switch is, but we're just panicking there. You've already made the mistake. You need to make sure you stay composed to then try and rectify the situation. Okay, so jumping straight into the next point, we've obviously just won the ball. This is the first time we've had the ball now in this game. You know, we're only a couple minutes in. Obviously, he had kickoff. I don't know what this is, to be honest with you. What you need to be seeing this as is that I've just got the ball. We're just straight away into the game. I need to take my time, try and build up an attack. All of your players have currently just gone from defending. So, you know, your Omri's making his way back up here. You've got your 2 centre mids that are slowly going to start making their way up the pitch as well. Playing this ball over the top has no advantage in any way, shape or form. Simple fact of, look where Insigne is and look where Robertson is. You're not, Insigne, right, is quick, but he's not going to gain these yards on Robertson. So all you needed to be doing is carry on running with Zidane and then look for just a ground pass, or make your way over to your right back and then slowly start bringing it over. Not everyone has a possession style place of game, but you need to be more protective of the ball than that. That is just so cheap to give the ball away. As I say all the time, you're not going to score goals if you haven't got the ball. So just one thing to bear in mind. So coming straight off this, obviously we play the ball, as we've just discussed. We do nearly concede a goal, and I feel like this is unfortunate from your end. There's not much you can do there. I feel like you've defended it, but it just gets around it. That is an absolutely fantastic slide tackle. Slide tackling is quite strong on this game when it's implemented very well, so well done for that. Just be careful though. Obviously, that would have been a straight red card if you got that wrong. One thing I just want to point out from here is that what you need to be looking at is when you're very early on into the game is to see what the opponent's playing, their formation, so then how can you use yours to an advantage. By the looks of it, it looks like he's playing 4-1-2-1-2 narrow or some narrow anyway, because he's literally got, that's the right back, which is out of position, so he's covering there, but, you know, he's going to have him normally around that sort of area. So he's got a narrow formation, which then means with you running the 4-4-2, you need to constantly be going from right into the middle to left. And the way you need to do that is by going across these certain points, but also using the fullbacks and getting them involved as well. Because then he's got this narrow formation of these players. What it will do is it will start to tell Nainggolan to come over, the other centre mid to come over, possibly even the cam, and then you're going to have gaps in and around this area, which when striker can back off, you can use your centre mid to drive forward, but you need to just be going from left to right and fully using the touchline. Okay, when they're playing narrow, you have to go wide. If you stick via the narrow, that's what suits them. So just keep that in mind. Always try and look for what the opponent's playing in their formation. Okay, so you create a chance here. We give the ball away cheaply, but then we win it back straight away. With Insigne, you do a nice little fake shot just to put it out onto the right foot. A ball roll could have been the option as well. Here, this is where people need to be a little bit more composed, right? What you've done is you've seen this lovely thing, which is called the goal, and you've gone, right, goal, yeah, I want to score. There's a pass on to the Zidane there, which you could play. If you're not sure on that because of the offside, which a lot of people wouldn't play that pass, to be honest with you, is you can take another touch, head into this area, and then possibly look for the near post or create the better angle to go for the far post. Instead, you snatch at it there, which I don't feel like Insigne is going to hit the back of the net, you know, most of the time there. You take that shot 100 times, 90 times, that's going to be saved. 10 times it might go in. So it's all about increasing the percentages, essentially. And I feel like we could have either played that pass or we could have gone for another touch to then go into. It's just about being a little bit more composed. Do always think, is this the right decision? Hit and shoot here. That pass, as I said, is borderline, but taking that extra touch, if you would have gone forward one more, I then think you close that angle down a little bit better and make it more of a higher chance of you putting that in the back of the net. Okay, so you do really well here. The opponent gives the ball away cheaply. I don't know what he's doing. What do you do with it, though? You capitalise on it. Fantastic. Nice and composed finish there. Lovely finish with Ben Yedder going for that near post. Good stuff. Okay, so this is what I mean by going left to right. Because the opponent's playing that narrow formation, you do really well here of just spreading this wide. Sending that runner, I think you've clicked L1 there to send Insigne down. You do fantastic stuff. Do the defender. Falls over to Henry. I like the little drag back. I like the passing to Ben Yedder. I just feel like there, again, you've said about creating chances. You struggle to create chances. You've created a couple chances already and we're in 15 minutes. Watch this here. This drag back was lovely. That pass is lovely. Why aren't we either playing this pass into Henry, which has then got that easy shot in at that near post or even the far post, or ball roll upwards into this direction and then taking the shot with Ben Yedder? I don't know what we've done there. You're facing the wrong way when you take that shot. That's never going to go in. So again, just look for that little pass or ball roll forward there. You had acres. You had absolutely loads of time there to think about that and do what you wanted to do. There was absolutely no need to rush it as we did. We'll just watch it again in full time. All this was fantastic. Touch, pass or ball roll, or even a fake shot. Anything but shooting when you're facing the wrong way. Just a little praise here, because not everyone always sees it when they're kind of in and around that goal bracket as you are in FUT Champs. Is what I like here is that you cover that run with Henry. As soon as you see this space opening up with that runner there, because he's got that space to run into, he's got the head start, you then switch to Mendy and you're trying to cover that ground to try and get ahead of that pass. There's the switch. I like that. Really, really good stuff. Some people wait for that pass to go down the line and then half a second too late and then the attacker's got the run on already. I think you're a little bit unfortunate here because you work this chance quite nicely. I think the game kind of passes to the wrong player. But as I said before, you are doing really well here in switching it. I think that pass there, you want that to go into... is it Zidane, I think it was? Let's have a look. I don't know if this original pass is meant to go into here. But obviously it finds Insigne, which either pass is fine. But here, though, again, I think you're wanting this to go to Zidane, I think. I don't think you want this to go into there. I mean, that obviously is a right pass. That is not a pass on. What I would say, again, is just be that a little bit more composed. You've got time to take a touch. If you take a touch, this defender probably commits to you. And then you lay it off to Zidane, who's then got that space in there because that defender would have pushed forward ever so slightly. But you just rush it, and then obviously we give the ball away. The guy just keeps panicking in this last little case. And then we're trying to do a few drag backs to get that little bit of room to take the shot. Unfortunately, we don't get it, but good stuff again. You are creating the chances. So you are doing what I want you to do in this particular formation with the opponent playing narrow. You work it from right to left. You play it in. The only thing I'm not sure about is why we've rushed that. We're winning the ball back quite quickly because the guy keeps giving it away, but you just need to be a little bit more composed in this particular game and just take the touch, carry on running down, and then play the pass into Henry if you want, or you can then work it back into the middle, however you want to do it. But playing that pass straight away was just asking for trouble. Again, obviously the guy makes a silly pass and gives you the ball back, but yeah, just try and cut this out. That's kind of the pattern we're noticing already in the first 30 minutes. Nice. Ooh. Okay, so again, fantastic stuff from coming left to right. You play the pass into the middle here, which finds Ben Yedder. Zidane makes a beautiful run, and it was a lovely, lovely pass from yourself. What I'm going to look at here is the opponent and what he does wrong. So as soon as he sees this, he needs to understand that this AI isn't going to track this Zidane run well enough. So what he needs to do is he needs to hold L2 and just cover this back line, because then if Ben Yedder comes forwards and Zidane goes offside, he can then pressure it. But obviously, if he pays the pass into Zidane, if he keeps this defender along this back line and Zidane gets to here, he's got a higher ratio of dropping back and pulling that off. What he decides to do is to come forward, commits, leaves all that space for Zidane to run into. You then get there. What I'd like to see here, again, is a little bit more composure. Take another touch if you wanted to. If you take another touch, you've got a higher chance of this going in. You might say Zidane should be hitting the target. He probably should hit the target from here, but I don't know about this going in every time. The way you're going to get this to go in every time is by taking that extra touch and then either going far post or near post, your choice. If it was me, I would probably run to here and I'd look at ball rolling the keeper and coming down and then having the open net. But that's just me being more composed. Again, that's not something that you have to do necessarily, but I definitely would take another touch just to set Zidane up better. But other than that, lovely, well worked. Again, you went from left to right. Played the pass into the middle. Zidane made that run over. Lovely stuff. I do just want to show this here just for kind of everyone else that I kind of speak to in terms of looking at the time on the clock and just being a bit more patient with your attacks. What I really like about this is you don't at any point have like a killer situation to get the ball into the box, to take a shot or anything like that, or any passes that I think are key. But what you do is you just hold the ball really well. You're waiting for those chances, you're waiting for the gaps to open, and you just keep holding it, thinking it across, waiting for those opportunities. You work it really, really well. Nice little fake shot. Getting the fullbacks involved a little bit further up the pitch as well. Fortunately, we do lose it there with Zidane, but I just think you were really, really patient in that, so well done for that. And then good defending there with Longley. Someone will shout at me in the comments for that, eh? Okay, so I don't really know what we've done here. He did absolutely brilliant with all this. Nice little turn with Ben Yedder. I don't know what that shot is. But what I'd probably say is Ben Yedder snatched at it. I don't know if he was on the wrong angle or something. But I think in this sort of situation, again, maybe come a little bit further forward, but I find that the near post is more successful in this sort of case. You could lay it off to Zidane, and then Zidane might be in the situation to go for the far post. But I don't know what that shot is from Ben Yedder, but just unfortunate. But again, lovely little worked opportunity. Okay, so half time now. I'm really happy with this stat. I like people to at least try and get to 60%, so that's fantastic. Pass accuracy is 87%. I always try and say keep that around 90% or above, but nothing too far off. You've had chances in this game, right? We have had opportunities where we possibly could have made it 2-0, 3-0, you know, chance at the end then, chance with Zidane. A couple of little situations which we've already spoken about though, but I do like overall these stats say to me, you are dictating the tempo of this game, you're in control. We do just need to get another goal though to cement our lead. And just to say as well, the guy is playing 4-1-2-1-2. So as I said, you know, you want to be exploiting these sort of areas here. Because when you exploit these sort of areas, Nainggolan has to come out, or he doesn't. If he doesn't, that's fine. You've got 2v1 on that chance down at Robertson. When you exploit these areas here, he comes out, it then leaves the middle quite open as well. So, but you are doing well at doing that. As I said, you are going left to right, which is what I like. One thing I just want to say here, it hasn't cost you, but it will cost you in certain games, so don't get into the habit of doing it. Is that there, right? You might go, yeah, but Al, it didn't matter, it didn't do anything. In the next game, that's not going to happen, right? If you do this in the 80th minute, Militao, you face the wrong way. I mean, logic says if you're facing that way, you're going to play the pass into there. If you are going to play the pass up to here, you need to turn that way and then play the pass. Playing that pass on like a 180, it's just asking for trouble. So just make sure you don't do that often. Again, so this is another situation where you go from side to side, exploiting, you know, the guy running the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. So really, really well done for this. You play it over to Nainggolan, who plays a lovely little pass into Insigne. I like the 1-2. It's a good pass from Ben Yedder. Then come back on the inside, look for the pass into Nainggolan. Here, that pass is fine. It's just a bit unfortunate with Sanchez, to be honest. It's a good tackle from him. What I'd like to see here, I mean, I think this is bad defending from the opponent, which it's one of them ones where you've tried to predict that he's going to go that way, and that's why you've done the drag back to then go this way. Obviously, because the guy's defended so bad, it's kind of worked out in his favour, if you know what I mean. So let's just watch that again. When the ball breaks to Ben Yedder in just a second. Look at that. If we wouldn't have done that drag back, we would have had so much space for you to run into there. We will show it you one more time, just for you literally to go and grab a goal, if I'm honest with you. Let's have a look. So it breaks to Ben Yedder. There, if we didn't do it and just went to there, you can go for that far post or the near post because Ben Yedder's got the 5-star weak foot. You can literally just run into here. It's simple as. But because he's defended so badly, it's counterproductive. It's one of them. I mean, yeah, just maybe try and not do the... If you've seen him do that movement with the drag, while you've done the drag back, go back the way you came, and then you still would have had that opportunity to get a shot off. I'm going to play this in full time for you. What do you think went wrong here? For me, it's player switching. I think we're a bit all over the place with player switching. I can't work out if we're using the right stick much or using L1 a lot. But I just feel like we never quite get a grasp of how we're going to defend this situation. So, overall, you do okay here. Because all you're trying to do, that switch is okay, but you're trying to just cover that particular player. You're not too sure on where he's going, what he's doing. But then as soon as you switch back, you need to get right into his face. Again, we're still struggling on who we want to be with. Switch to Nainggolan. If you switch to Nainggolan there with L1, it will always change to the guy closest to the ball. And then you could have just got a tackle in and possibly won the ball back, but we moved wrongly. We just never really get an understanding of it. So I think if you get that switch into Nainggolan and put the pressure on the ball holder, he doesn't get that shot off. But can you just see what I mean? It just feels like we're constantly changing and never really getting into the opponent's face or sticking in that 1-2 yard radius, which gives him the freedom to find the passes, find the player that he wants, and then boom, puts the ball in the back of the net. Okay, so we're going to do something which I never want you to do again. I don't know what we've done there, which causes us to mess it up with Militao. But in this situation, when they play a through ball into your centre-back and you're not 100% sure, what you probably want to be doing here is looking at going for a ball roll downwards. If you go for a ball roll downwards and then hold L2 to shield, I don't imagine Vardy's going to outstrengthen Militao. You could even ball roll upwards and then play it back to the keeper, your choice. You hold L2 to shield it, but then obviously we've then not got a pass on because you've got 3 players there and you don't know where to go. You could play a dink pass back to Stegen, but it's a little bit risky. But that pass there was never on. You could see that it was being covered. Luckily enough, the guy doesn't capitalise on it, but we need to cut that sort of mistakes out. So just be very careful in that sort of situation. It is a difficult ball to defend though. So ball roll downwards or look at playing it back to the keeper when you get the chance. It's nothing major here. What I want you to do is I hold R1. I don't know if it makes much of a difference. And just tap square. and just look to play it back to the right back. You do that, but you play it, you put too much power onto it, which then sends it to Insigne. Insigne is not going to win the headers. He's one of the smallest guys on the pitch, and you'll lose the ball from it. So just don't do that. Always look to go to the right back or left back in those situations. Obviously, I know we came out with the ball, but that wasn't because we won the header. Nice. Okay, so from this, we then get into a brilliant situation. This pass from Ben Yedder is beautiful. For me, I would never really look for this, but, you know, props to you for that. I like that. You come down. I'd like to see you. Everyone expects you to come back in on the inside and then look for the space in the middle. Everyone expects that. Carry on running down the line. You don't need to, like, you know, big touch it. Just carry on sprinting. By that point then, hopefully, I think it's Ben Yedder will catch up, or even Zidane pulls back to here. If you carry on doing that, you then create that opportunity possibly by just running down into there. You try a fake shot and it just goes, you just go directly into the opponent. So sometimes don't do what everyone does, because that's what everyone expects you to do and defends in that way. Sometimes think outside the box and do what people don't expect, right? Mix it up a bit. Sometimes come back on the inside. But a lot of my goals, personally, I score by going down directly to the line and then coming back across. I am noticing a couple little, one little thing that you do quite a lot. I have noticed a couple of times in this game, but I haven't pointed it out yet. Is that you press B, tackle, circle, wherever you're on. You press tackle when you're not always going to win the ball. And I kind of preach, if you are not 99% sure you're going to win the ball, don't press tackle. You press tackle while you're aiming here, which isn't, you're not going to win it. If you aim your analog that way, you possibly win that ball. It's just something, the reason why I say don't do it if you're not 100% sure is because Nainggolan has now left this space for this player to run into, and he's playing catch up. When you make a tackle, you are like out of the game for half a second to a second in some cases. So always just be pretty sure if you're going to press tackle, you're going to win the ball. Again, we don't concede from it, but it's just something that I've noticed you've done a couple of times now, and it's just something to be cautious of. So again, props to you. From all the people we've had throughout the coaching sessions over the last few weeks, you're very, very patient in going forward, and you're not scared to go backwards, which is what I like. Again, just being really, really patient, waiting for the gaps to open, and then boom, we get a goal from it. So fantastic stuff there. Not really too much to say. I mean, there's certain situations where I might have played the pass in, so let's show you. I might have looked to play the pass into the middle now, but you don't, which again, it works out how you want it to. So good stuff on there, and a good finish. Again, good stuff really from you. You've created a lot of chances in this game, and a lot of it has just been composure. Lovely pass from Zidane, perfectly timed, and a fantastic finish from Alan. So that puts you 3-1 up. What you got to do now is just see the game out, hold the ball, and just be patient with it. Don't give away any silly passes, and the game's yours. So the game finishes and you get the 3-1 win, which I think was deserved, to be honest with you. You did really, really well in that, you know, obviously you conceded, it made it 1-1, but you still kept your head, you still went forward. From just looking at the stats, you deserved to win that game quite comfortably. You held the ball really well. Pass accuracy, as I said, a little bit low, but not too much of an issue. 9 shots, 4 on target. We'll go and dive into exactly how we can look at improving, obviously, from the points that we're pointing out for you as well. And we will take a look at your custom tactics and team to see if there's any suggestions on that front. In terms of your custom tactics, I don't think there's anything too much that'll change on there. They seem all okay to me. The only one that sometimes I mix up is possession. Maybe you could have a duplicate tactic of this where you change that to balanced as well. Because in some situations, you might find that you'll struggle to create chances against the opponent. And it might just be because you've got possession on. Because when you play possession, the players are always looking at coming short. They never make a run in behind, very often anyway, unless you trigger it with L1. So if you are struggling against an opponent, you feel like you're constantly just not really getting past the back line, never making any chances, that sort of thing, switch this to balance, and you might find you create a couple of chances on that. Pressure after heavy touch is on heavy touch. I've never really played it myself. I've used it. I don't find it does very much. I prefer press after possession loss or balance. but it's your choice. I didn't see your team getting massively dragged out of position. Defensively, you were pretty sound, so I'm happy for you to keep that on that. And then depth, most people tend to play it on 3 or 2. Me, myself, are playing 4 with a little bit of a higher line, but yep, that's all fine and all looks good. Team-wise, for your improvements in the future, it's a solid team, to be honest with you. I'd probably look at gradually over time getting rid of this Insigne and looking for someone that's a little bit better, because obviously you're playing him in right mid. Someone a little bit taller, a little bit quicker. Not too sure on suggestions, because obviously you might have to change up, you know, a couple of these players as well. But overall, the team is solid. I'm guessing you've got the 87 Henry untradeable. If you didn't, and he is tradable, I'd sell him and get rid of him and bring in someone else. Neymar probably would be my ideal one, to be honest with you. But I imagine he is untradeable from the base icon SBC. So overall, Rule Man, it was a very good game from yourself, to be honest with you, buddy. You played really well. You held the board nicely. As I said, I just think you lack composure. As soon as you get into that 18-yard box, you just seem to be like a dog with a ball and so excited. You just want to score. You want to score. You do really well in getting to the box. You know, you're patient outside the box, but as soon as you get in that box, it's like you're a completely different player. Always think before you shoot, is there another pass on? Can I make the angle a little bit better? Is there anything I can do to increase my chance of scoring here? There was a few times where that pass was on. If you would have gone forward with another touch or a ball roll or something like that, you would have created that opportunity to have a higher chance of scoring as well. And then when it comes to, for example, you ran down the wing at one point, you cut back in. Everyone expects to cut back in. Sometimes carry on running down towards the line and then play the pass back across, and you might have a simple tap in. If you can try and cut out tackling with your centre mids, unless you are pretty damn certain that you're going to win that ball, just because it takes them out of the game for a second or so, and that can then lead to you conceding quite a lot of goals from that as well. But overall, it was a solid performance from yourself. You did really well in just shutting the game out, keeping your cool. You changed some players around as well when you took the lead and went to 4-2-3-1, which I like that. Not many people have backup game plans, so I really like that. Good stuff indeed. And that's probably everything, to be honest with you, buddy. So if you can go and work on those points, also take a look at your switching. You need to nail it a little bit better. Use a mix of L1 and right stick switching. If you need to switch to someone that's closest to the ball, L1 will switch you straight to that, and then right stick switching, just think about it. Unfortunately, because the servers aren't great, sometimes that can play a part, but other than that, it was all a solid performance from you. I hope you did enjoy the video. As I said before, if you did, please let me know by hitting that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll catch all of you later. Bye bye.